Take a look at the devastation this morning. There it is right there in Philadelphia. The train was headed from Washington to New York. Busiest line in America, just around 9:30 last night, 5 miles out of Philadelphia. All 7 cars, including the engine, came off the track. 3 of the cars, you see one right there, toppled on their side, one nearly upside down on its roof.
There were 243 people on board, including 5 crew members. About 200 have been taken to the hospital. Hundreds of emergency responders on the scene right now, firefighters, police officers, and federal investigators, including the FBI. Amtrak service between New York and Philadelphia is shut down this morning. We have full team coverage. World News Tonight anchor David Muir leading our coverage and starts us off from the scene. David?
Robin and George, good morning. An incredible scene of destruction here in the overnight hours. You can see behind me the fire crews, the rescue crews still here on the scene. One of the busiest rail lines in the country from Washington to Philadelphia up to New York. There were so many people injured. They were using vans to get them to nearby hospitals, and we heard from the passengers who were using the lights on their iPhones, their smartphones, to find their way out of the darkness.
Overnight, the frantic search for passengers. You can see the flashlights as search and rescue teams surround the cars that came off the track. Incredible scenes of destruction along America's busiest rail line.
The train tilted over and rolled.
9:28 Eastern, the first emergency call. The New York City-bound Amtrak train starting in Washington, D.C., taking off at 7:10 p.m. 238 passengers, 5 crew members on board, derailing in the Port Richmond section of Philadelphia.
One train looks like it's completely in pieces.
Almost immediately, the images of the wounded, bloodied but able to walk away from the crash. Some crawling through emergency windows, others climbing through the roof of the train. From above, you can see the scope of the wreckage, the train reduced to twisted metal, shattered glass. Its engine detached, 3 cars on their sides, 1 flipped over, 7 cars in all off the track.
I heard it like a big bang.
And this morning, from inside the train, images capturing the chaos and the fear. Passengers trying to escape, describing the luggage that had been flying over their heads before those cars came to a screeching halt.
Keep crawling, okay?
Crawl forward, sir.
Shut down the entire northeast corridor. We have a major event out here. We have people on the track and a couple of cars overturned.
First responders rushing to the scene, pulling out passengers who were still trapped in the overturned cars.
It happened in seconds.
More than 100 passengers sent to area hospitals. So many, they were using vans and buses to drive the injured to the hospital. First responders still searching this morning, still unable to say whether everyone is accounted for. Former Congressman Patrick Murphy, who was on the train capturing these images, passengers pulling themselves up from the floor.
Human nature kicks in, so there was people who were, they didn't care about anyone else. They were getting off that train, so stepping over people. The guy next to me was unconscious, so I kind of slapped him a little bit and got him up, and then he was, believe it or not, okay.
Overnight here, the mayor of Philadelphia on the scene describing the horror, unlike anything he's ever seen.
It is an absolute disastrous mess.
This morning, the recovery effort pushing forward as federal investigators now arrive on the scene to determine what caused this deadly crash.
Authorities here on the scene now telling us the death toll now up to 6. And again, they have not accounted for everyone on this train. And keep in mind, it's unlike a plane. You don't have an assigned seat. You just have a ticket. You go on and you sit where you want, which is why it's so difficult to make sure they know that everyone's been accounted for. And one other thing is you don't stow your luggage. You just put it above you, which is why so many of the passengers are describing that luggage flying through midair. Passengers flying, too. One woman telling me she could feel passengers bumping up into her until that train came to a halt, the cars flipping onto their side. And of course, we'll have much more here from the scene in just a couple of moments. George, back to you.
Thanks, David.